Welcome, welcome. Felt compelled to do another quick food review, only because this is probably one of the best things I've ever eaten in my life. It's so good, I just had to make a review. And I saw it for the first time the other day. I ripped the top off, so I'm gonna have to try and like hold the top piece. But it's called what is it? Good enough. King's Wagyu. I'm trying to read it backwards on the screen. Gold standard Biltong, the world's most marbled beef, Wagyu. Marinated, air-dried strips of Wagyu Biltong. 100% tender, 100% succulent. I'll just read the back real quick here. It says, Wagyu beef is often quoted as the planet's best beef due to its high marbling score, which delivers extra tenderness and flavor when eating. This means that King's Wagyu is fattier and stickier than our usual meat snacks, however, packs more flavor. It's made in New York using Wagyu beef. Wow, it's actually got 30.4 grams of protein per 100 grams, but this is only 25 grams, so. But still, I mean, that's a pretty high protein content. And man, this literally is like the best thing I've ever eaten off of a shelf. The only food that I've ever eaten that tastes better than this is lobster, like perfectly cooked lobster, or stuff like that. There, maybe bacon, but bacon's in a different category, right? This here is it's the best meat I've ever tasted in my life. I've always heard about Wagyu and all that there, and I just thought, oh, how much better could it taste? Well, if you're like me and you ain't rich, you grew up eating steaks, and you're like, oh, goody, we're having steak for dinner. You only get steak like once every few weeks or whatever, and you're looking forward to it, and you get the steak, you think it's the best thing on earth, and when you grow up, you're like, yeah, those are the cheap $2 or $3 steaks from the supermarket, right? That were on special, tough, bag cut of meat or whatever, like chuck steak or just really terrible cuts. I never got tenderloin growing up at the dinner table. And then when I got older, a few years ago, I checked around for a different brand. I found a brand of beef called Neiman's Ranch, right? And supposedly, unfortunately, they changed their, not recipe, but they do something different now, and it's not as good. That's what I hear. But years ago, when I got Neiman Ranch for the first time, it was only like $1 or $2 more per pound than the cheap stuff, which, I mean, the regular stuff, which is just cheap meat, right? So it was a fair price. It wasn't even expensive. But Neiman Ranch, man, when you cook that meat, it's just like on another level. It's just like ridiculous. Regular beef tastes like garbage after you try Neiman's Ranch. And supposedly it's because it's grass fed, like free range, grass fed, their cows are treated properly, right? And man, it's true. All the stuff you hear on the cooking shows, what the creature eats comes through and it's imparted into the flavor. I believe that now. And until I had this here, Neiman's Ranch was the best meat I've ever had. That when I had a Neiman's Ranch tenderloin, whoo, you get Neiman's Ranch regular cut, like a regular boring cut of meat, of steak, of beef, you know what I mean? Doesn't even matter what it is. Like the cheapest, most boring cut is Neiman Ranch. It's gonna taste like a tenderloin of any other brand. Like even Angus, 100% certified Angus, that's what is like the regular beef here, right? And that's flavorless compared to that, but this here, oh my gosh. The package still probably got the smelling. Oh my lord. This isn't beef jerky, in case you're wondering. If you don't know what biltong is like beef jerky. It's from like South Africa or Africa. And it's basically just beef jerky, but it's usually a little tougher, sometimes a little juicier, depends on where it's made, how it's made, but it's very spicy. It's got like peppercorns or whatever on it, not necessarily chilies per se, but it's like a different style of jerky. And I like biltong, but it leaves like a fiery burn in your mouth. When I saw this, I figured it would be like that, but this isn't like biltong. So if you know what biltong is, then don't worry. This stuff here, like it says, 100% tender and succulent. It's like it says, air-dried strips. It's so tender, and the strips are so thin, like these little strips or whatever. And you get a nice big like clump in the bag. It's almost like it's raw. that's how tender it is, right? It's obviously safe to eat. It's air dried, right? And marinated. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I don't know where you guys could get this, where you live, right? It looks British, actually. I just noticed the British flag on it, but it's called King's, right? I found it on the internet. Where I live is more expensive. Where I live, it's as expensive as New York, or a little bit more. And I think this cost, I don't know, between $5 and $7, something like that, which is quite ridiculous. But as a one-off, I'm happy I had this. So I've never had Wagyu beef before. If this stuff tasted that good, I would hate to see how good a Wagyu steak tastes. But yeah, man, trust me, you gotta try this once in your life. If you eat Wagyu steak all the time, then it might not be that exciting to you. But if you eat Wagyu steak all the time and you like beef jerky, I would recommend get this here. This is the gold version. I don't know if there's one below it, but they had a platinum version, so I got my dad for Father's Day. Woo, ain't spicy at all. Just delicious. It's not like it's all sweet and everything, but it's got like a hint of sweet. This is the gold one, like I said. This one had like a little hint of sweet. Let's read the ingredients, might as well, right? It's got beef, 220 grams of raw beef per 100 grams of finished product. That's pretty decent. Half pound per 100 grams. It's got sugar, salt, spices, herb, dried red pepper, dried onion, yeast extract, cider vinegar, smoke flavoring, and preservative. It's really nice. I didn't get that, you get that like chemically preservative taste in a lot of jerky. Didn't get that with this. This isn't jerky, right? This is strips of succulent marinated Wagyu air dried beef. My mouth is like starting to water just thinking about it, but I can't be buying this all the time. But it smells so good. Oh my gosh, man. Absolutely amazing. So on the stream here, but yeah, man, it was that good. I just had to recommend it. Never seen it before. This thing is the coolest thing in the world. There you go. King's Wagyu strips. And look for the platinum one. Like, if you're going to get one to try, you might as well get the platinum one. If you're going to spend $5 or $10, whatever, on a bag of Biltong, you might as well get the best one. You know what I mean? For an extra dollar or whatever it is. So, anyways, folks, hope you enjoyed this review for whatever it is.